I just scrapped the video I just did because I didn't care for it. I'm going to try to be more coherent. Got cigarette ash on my hand. The thing I want to talk about tonight is men's rights, women's rights. I pretty much don't concern myself a lot, present day, about anybody but myself. You know, it's not that I'm self-centered. I don't think I'm all that. But because of my depression and anxiety and stuff they got me on pills for, I just prefer not to go out in the general public. So I do a lot of surfing on the net, looking at stuff, reading news articles. If something piques my interest, I'll continue to search it, and if I have questions about it, I'll keep looking until I find answers that seem right to me. I have Amazon Prime because for a while I was buying, a couple years ago, I was buying a lot of stuff on Amazon, and so I got in on the Prime deal. I probably won't renew it this time because I'm just not buying stuff from Amazon that much anymore. So I was watching Amazon Prime, and I was flipping through the documentaries. I seem to watch a lot of docs last year or so. That's how I see other people's point of views. I see, you know, what other people are saying. Sometimes I'll look at something and just my bullshit meter pegs. And other times I'll look at something and it'll get me interested. And while flipping through the docs about a month or so ago, I came across a movie called The Red Pill. Now, I'm a sci-fi fan. I know what the Red Pill is part of, the Matrix. So I decided to watch it to see, you know, what it was about. And I seen it was, you know, for, you know, talking about men's rights issues and MRAs and stuff like that, which I had never heard of. I've never felt discriminated against. Well, I have been discriminated against because of my religion, or lack of. I proved that to the unemployment board and got unemployment from a company that fired me because I wasn't Catholic. I've been discriminated against because I was fat. I've been discriminated against because I smoke. You know, but those things are, I look at those as, you know, okay, fine, you know, I'm fat, I smoke, so if you don't like me, fuck you, I don't care. I don't want to work here anyways. Oh, and age. I've been discriminated against because of my age also. But I never looked at it from, I don't ever feel that I got discriminated against because I got a pecker. Now, you know, I looked at the Red Pill, and I got divorced in '01, or disillusionment was settled in '01, and my kids were grown, so we didn't have to deal with, you know, child support or anything like that, and she was making more money than I was, so, you know, she didn't file, you know, she didn't go for, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the heinous, bloody, terrible experience that I've, you know, seen other people, heard other people talk about, or seen in, you know, documentaries, or seen on TV, or, you know, it was just like, oh, well, we were married 22 years, it's done, bye, you know. But, and I don't hold any ill will against my ex, I will not talk bad about her. It's just, I don't see a point in it. You know, there was problems I caused, there was problems she caused, and that's the way it was. My kids don't see it that way, but whatever. You know, I'd always known about men not getting treated fairly in custody battles and stuff like that. I'd seen enough about that on TV and from guys I knew that, I personally felt they got screwed. But the thing that surprised me, I got a history lesson in the feminism movement, going back to the day till now. I can remember as a kid, I was born in 58, so I grew up through the 60s and 70s, and I remember the bra burnings, and I remember the marching and stuff like that, which my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, the women that were in my mom's circle, they didn't do any of that stuff. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She cooked, cleaned. That's what she liked to do. It's what she loved to do. And she didn't do it because Dad made her do it. I remember a few arguments my mom and Dad had. But there was no blood, there was no knives pulled, there was no gunplay, there was, none of this other shit. Which, I know that stuff happens. But when you look at the numbers and the research, it's pretty much even. Women aren't being beat and killed more, really, statistically more than men. The spousal abuse is a problem. But it's not one-sided. The way they showed, like that one broad in the movie Big Red, okay? What a dumbass. You can't have intelligent discussions if one side of the discussion is calling you a fuckface and telling you to shut the fuck up and over screaming you, and sticking a bullhorn in your face. And the one young woman, a dude was going into a premiere of the movie, and she's calling him a fucking rapist and all this other crap. That's bullshit. And I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes right out of the monotheist playbook. If they can't talk you into their way of thinking, they make up shit about you. They yell at you. They claim you're the devil. So instead of this woman standing there and calling this guy the devil, she called him a rapist. Okay? You see the same thing in the Black Lives Matter movement. These people, I don't know if they do it for attention or they do it, they think the only way they can get their point across is yell and scream and holler and call people names. Nothing ever gets fixed doing that. All that does is cause stupid, ignorant violence. Or it causes the person you're yelling and screaming at to figure you're just a dumbass and he's no longer going to communicate with you. But that's what they want. They want people that don't agree with them to shut the hell up. I don't think there's an ideology really driving any of these special interest groups. I think what drives these special interest groups is money. It's like anything else. You got guys like Penn from Penn and Teller and Bill Maher. The one dude was a magician and the other guy's a stand-up comic. They didn't really have any notoriety until they came out as these hardcore atheists. And now they're all over YouTube. You know, they get paid exorbitant amounts of money to go speak somewhere. It's about the green. You know, I wonder sometimes if these people actually feel the way they do, or if it's all just an act, because that's their paycheck. You know, you can't turn, I don't even watch network TV anymore. In fact, I had my cable downgraded. I don't even have TV anymore. Because it was the same bullshit every night. Didn't matter what news channel you watched, it was all bullshit. You were getting one side of the story and one side of the story only. There was no opposing viewpoints. And by God, right hand on the Bible, left hand in the air, I swear to God, that's the truth. And it's all bullshit. Worldwide, the media is controlled by 5 companies. And all those 5 companies are concerned with is money. The news has become entertainment. It doesn't matter if you're watching Fox or CNBC or NBC or ABC. They're all owned by corporations that their bottom line is all they are concerned with is money. You know, so, you know, it wasn't surprising to me when Casey James talked about how she's been treated after making this movie. You know, she was like the poster child for feminist movies. You know, she got speaking engagements, you know, she, you know, you know, she didn't have a problem doing movies or getting funded or, you know, getting the money to produce them and, you know, getting them out in the market. But she stepped out of line. So now she's this great evil, man-loving woman devil that has abandoned the feminist movement. You know, and that's right out of the monotheistic playbook. If somebody says something you don't like, and they start getting some traction, you become the devil. You're a sinner. Everything would change if you just find Jesus Christ as your Savior. And when you don't do it, you're evil. You're the devil. You're a threat to society. Yeah, the monotheists have all sorts of names they hang on people that they don't like. And these special interest groups do the same damn thing. The feminist movement's become a religion. The civil rights movements have become a religion. Gay rights has become a religion. Anytime an organization feels that it's necessary to call other people names and, you know, tries to ruin their reputation and tries to portray them as evil incarnate, it's bullshit. And, you know, the numbers don't lie. You know, more men commit suicide, more men die on the job, more men die in the military, you know. And these hardcore feminists that think men are less than nothing rejoice. They sing praises to God for killing the evil men. What that says to me is they're narrow-minded, short-sighted, bigoted, and not worth my time to watch. I just hope the men's right movement doesn't end up doing the same thing. Get tied up with funding, and the higher ups in the movement start making six-figure incomes. Because absolute power corrupts absolute. It's a rigged game. It's a rigged system. The government's only going to promote one side of things, the side that makes them money. It doesn't matter if they're Republican, if they're Democrat. Big business has their hand in everybody's pocket that can make them money. And it's a sad state of affairs. One of the things I remember from a few years back after getting sober was I remembered as a kid. We'd go to the ice cream stand or go to the park or go on a drive or whatever, and we didn't even put the garage door down. If we came home from our trip or whatever and the ladder was missing, we knew it was coming back. Our society back then, didn't think that every other person was a pedophile. They didn't think that, men weren't the evil incarnate. I think there was better race relations back in the day. This it's greed, it's egos, alpha males, alpha females. Everybody wants to act like they have the answer that's going to fix you. I know what's best for you. And if I can't get you to go along with it, I'll get laws passed that will make you do what I want you to do. It's a bunch of crap. It's grade A, world class bullshit. You have a good evening, and thanks for watching the Bullshit Channel.